Almost live. Now we're live.
You didn't do the podcast yet?
Hello everyone, and thus begins our second half of our podcast. This is the time where I welcome anyone to call in, send us messages, send us email, join the chat room, and we'll start listening to things you people have to say.
We also have a new guest.
Oh yes, we also our illustrious secretary, something, I don't know who you are anymore. Introduce yourself.
I'm a combined secretary. No, I'm...
Secretary.
She's a horse?
Oh, I don't know.
No, I'm combined.
Introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Asa. I'm the secretary/treasurer of Drexel Freethought Society. Please do give us questions. We like questions. Lots and lots of questions.
And hopefully you heard something that she just said.
Remember one of my great commandments, question everything.
Thank you, Richard. We ended this with Dante's excellent spiel on how... Okay, can you not do that next to the speaker?
Sorry.
I'm going to move this over
Put it
here.
over there. Yeah, sorry about that. My
I'm
apologies.
going to give people ASMR.
Huh?
I don't want that.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, so Dante was going on about how relationships can actually be exceptionally costly financially, even more so than religions. So, what do you guys think? Everyone else?
I don't necessarily disagree with him, but I don't agree with him that it's a huge cost. But when I look at relationships, I see usually it's expected that, well, in a heterosexual relationship, the guy pays for the girl, and that's the norm, because that's how guys are brought up. They are indoctrinated in that manner. Because I know one guy got really pissed off at me because I said I wanted to pay for whatever I had. And he's like, no, you can't do that. That's like unmanly. I'm like, I'm not a man, first of all, so I can do that. If you feel that your manhood is being targeted or compromised or whatever, then you need to get it together and grow some balls. Like, really, because you have none right now. If you did, you let me do what I want to. You wouldn't be afraid of an independent woman. So I disagree with that. Relationships are that expensive because I'm willing to pay for whatever I consume, and occasionally, like, I'll be like, okay, my treat, I'll pay for dinner, like, whatever, no big deal. But not everyone sees it the way I see it. Some women expect to have everything paid for them, and I'm like, well, if you want equal rights as men, then you better pay for your ish, because that's just what it is. Yeah, so that's my thing.
The other lady.
I think, honestly, it's what you make of it. Because, people claim, oh, women are high maintenance, women require this and that. And, I don't think, dating is expensive. It doesn't have to be. I mean, if you're in college, one day I went to was to the dining hall. That cost me nothing. Okay, and if you're not in college, you can go for a walk or something. That costs you nothing. You don't have to go to the movies or go to a fancy restaurant or something like that. You don't have to go to Hershey Park. You can do something simple like that. It costs you nothing or next to nothing. Financially. So.
Okay, that's fair. Then let's swing back to what about religious things? Is there a case where religion can be much more expensive?
Catholicism. One word, Catholicism.
I wouldn't say it's just Catholicism. It's all religions. Like, certain, religious, synagogues, churches, mosques, temples, whatever. A lot of them have membership fees. So if you want to be a member, you pay... I know my dad pays like $500 a year to have a membership, and with that membership, you can vote for the board and the council and stuff like that. You don't have to have a membership to go pray at the mosque, but if you want to have a voice or you want to have your voice heard, if you want to be on the board or whatever, then you have to be a member before you can do that.
So you pay for freedom of speech.
Pretty much.
I'm going to... sorry. Is it my turn? I'm confused.
By all means.
Oh. Well, I was going to say...
Asa, can you sit here? You're very soft.
I was gonna say a lot of people like think of religion as like whether it's Islam or Christianity. That's including Catholicism because Catholicism is Christianity. Or you could be thinking of like Hinduism or something like that. A lot of people think of that sort of thing, but another idea of what religion really is what you make of it. The government could be considered as a religious organization. Think of the dictatorship that they have in North Korea. That's extremely financially taxing. And if it is a communist state, which I would also like to assert that communism itself is a religion, the thing is that like you're paying your taxes or whatever towards everyone else, and everybody's getting the same amount of money. So financially speaking, if you believe in capitalism, which I don't, then then it's extremely
That's so un-American.
extremely taxing. I'm a socialist, by the way.
You are free to be whatever you want to be.
Yes, what?
Do you have an opinion?
I have lots of opinions. Can you be more specific?
Sure. Do you have an opinion on the topic that you just presented to us?
Not particularly.
So, what's your take on it? What do you think is more costly financially?
You weren't here for the beginning.
Well, yeah, I wasn't. So, could you just give me like a 2-minute abridged version?
I think by emotional, economic, the variety of different types of costs.
Oh, I thought we were just talking about financial. I have another point then.
Yeah, we were ending with just the financial bit for the last few minutes. But I think overall, religion is significantly more tax-like. But when it comes to just straight up money, on an individual, there's someone there. On an individual level, relationships are much more expensive. But then, yeah.
Okay.
It gets more complicated when it becomes a religion because, as I'm pretty sure Dante brought up, they're just giant corporations. They pull tiny bits of money from everybody, and then they just get so much money, it's ridiculous.
Not to mention, I've told you this before, the one I know the most about is Catholicism, because that's the one I was partially, for part of my childhood, brought up in before my parents switched course. But there's a lot of additional expenses that go along with it that people don't even think of. For example, for my first communion, we had to buy a first communion dress. We had to, my parents had to buy me presents. They threw me a party. There's a lot of additional things that, that cost you. And I was just thinking about this, actually, as I was walking back to my dorm to unlock my room for my roommate who forgot the key. I was thinking about that. You don't really see that many poor Catholic families anymore. The majority of, because, think about it, with Catholicism, you get your Catholic schools. Well, they cost a lot of money. First communions, confirmation, etc. There's just a lot of money that goes into all of it. I don't know. And more than any other religion, I feel, Catholics care about the ornamentation. I know this from personal. I go to some of my really elderly relatives. They've got these big ornate statues of the Virgin Mary and stuff, and they've got, big, crucifixes, they've got, they're really into that. They don't mind paying top dollar for that sort of thing. So, that's just my personal experience.
I think, as he was saying about the Catholicism, my girlfriend's family is Catholic, yet at the same time they're not, because, the father is more Catholic than the mom, because the mom was from second wave feminism, and she was rampantly against, the idea of Catholicism and how, women were second-class citizens and that sort of, ideology. So, like I don't see anything religious in their house at all. The only religious thing that directly has to do with Catholicism that I see in their house is a puzzle of the Last Supper, and it's like all glued together and stuff, and it's hung up on their wall. Not even because they wanted it to be there, but because they wanted to make the really religious aunt happy. So that puzzle probably costed $20. And I'm not sure about them actually going to church and stuff. That might be different. But from what I know, my girlfriend and her sisters her sisters stopped going to church when they were like really young. And the brother that they have never even went. And the other brother, they didn't want to go because, Catholics don't see like people with Down syndrome as full people, which is
What?
No,
really
I don't think that's true.
well,
Did you
in
say that
some
again?
ways in some ways they do. At least that's what I've been told, and it's really disgusting.
Because
And
Catholics are so anti-abortion, even if the kid does have a problem such as Down syndrome, such as like they are so like I don't think that, they are arguing for a little ball of cells, like and they're like, yeah, that's a big.
As long as
like,
it doesn't cost them money.
Yeah, but the whole
Ooh,
entire idea of like abortion and like somebody having like an extra chromosome, like the abortion bit, let's save the baby, even though it's not a baby, it's a zygote or a blastoise or whatever when it's being aborted and it's not a human being, although that can be debatable. But then there's like the child with that extra chromosome, and they say, well, God made him that way, but we don't want any bad things coming to our to our Sunday school, because that kid might not understand the stuff that we say in Sunday school because he has Down syndrome. Well, the thing
Is it just harder to indoctrinate?
No. The thing
Wow.
is that it's
who have you been
hilarious.
talking to?
No, the thing it's hilarious because that kid with Down syndrome, because he can't be indoctrinated, he can actually learn other things that actually make sense instead of being indoctrinated. So, in a way, a lot of people think that people with Down syndrome and stuff are, the R word and stuff. I don't want to say it, but they're not. If you really look at that person, if you see like how they are and you're with them for a long time, you'll understand that these people are extremely intelligent, but we don't see it because we have a different sense of intelligence.
A good point.
You Izzy kind of led into something that's interesting. We've been talking a lot about the financial aspects, comparison between religion and relationships at a personal level. But can we talk about how are they more costly as far as societies or groups are concerned? How are relationships more costly towards the society than religion is financially? You can go as far as the results of being in such relationships, having kids, being part of the system as they call it, and the taxpayers having to pay for people who just pop kids out left and right because of their discombobulated relationships. Or you can go into religion and how that is costly towards the society because they're retarding mental growth as far as education is concerned. Any thoughts on that?
I'd also like to say something about that.
Sure.
Well, speak louder if you're going to.
Oh, yeah. As you were saying, becoming part of the system, and our society believes that if you're a heterosexual couple, at least you should get married and you should have babies, because our society looks down on single people for some odd reason that I don't know why, and then we pay our tax dollars towards those people. And I hear a lot of arguments against that. I hear a lot of arguments we shouldn't be giving them tax breaks and stuff like that. But I totally disagree because, let's say two parents they get married and they have a child, and they're terrible parents, and they
80% of
wind up
America.
like in a really bad, like they're in a really bad setting, and then we give them tax breaks and stuff, but we think, oh well, that's bad. We shouldn't have to do that because personal responsibility. Yeah, it was the personal responsibility of the parents, but what about the child? The child didn't want to be born. It's our responsibility to take care of that kid, even though it's not ours. But when it comes to religion, it's totally different. Yeah, we're giving them tax breaks, but for what reason? That's not helping anyone. It's hurting society as a whole. So I really have to stick with my point that religion is a whole lot more taxing, financially in every single way, than religions are.
Relationships, you mean?
I mean,
Religion's more than relationships, right? Okay. All right. There we go.
I agree with him. Honestly, I think religion's more expensive because, like Izzy said, there's a lot of things that go with religion, other than like the membership fees, and then like they're always asking for donations because they want to make the buildings bigger and more ornate or whatever they want to do to bring in like a larger crowd. They'll have people come over from all over the world to give talks and speeches and try to brainwash. But that's what I'm saying. Like, religion is, in my opinion, a lot costlier than relationships, because in relationships you can make certain sacrifices. You can be like, oh well, we don't always need to go out. We don't always need to give each other really expensive presents. We don't always need to buy our kids really expensive things. You can have a decent life without spending a lot of money with a significant other. And children too.
Does it happen?
That is up to each individual person to decide what they want to do. Like, if they want to spend millions of dollars on designer clothes and big cars and not feed their children or not feed themselves, then okay, that's on you, not me. Like, it has nothing to do with me. Me personally, I'd be like, okay, well, this is when I do get a job, I do have a job right now, but I'm technically under my parents' roof still. They still provide for, like, most of my necessities. But when I do get my own job, I'll be like, okay, I make X amount in a year. Let me budget it. Like, I need to buy a house. I need to get a car. I need to pay for insurance. I need to get a million things. After all that, like, after all my necessities are complete, do I have extra money left over? If yes, then, all right, let's go have fun. Let's go to the movies. Let's go to a fancy restaurant. But if it comes down to no, we don't have that money, okay, well, let's stay in. Maybe let's get takeout or...
Can I hold you for 1 second?
Sure.
We have a caller?
Charles, can you hear us?
I can hear you perfectly fine.
Hi, Charles.
That's what he sounds like.
Who is Charles?
Chaz
What I
in
sound like.
Cynic's Den.
That's hilarious.
All right, well, welcome, Chaz. Glad to have you on the show. What's your opinion?
Where were you guys at the moment? Because I had to stop listening.
Yeah, it doesn't
My
matter. What's your opinion?
computer.
What's your opinion? What's more expensive, religion or relationships?
In any aspect.
I'd probably say relationships. Well, maybe because in my personal experience, I haven't spent that much money on religion. So even like, I don't even think my parents spent a lot of money on like giving tithes and everything like that. It wasn't that much money, but spending money, taking my mom out to dinner or taking care of me because he had children with my mother, it's probably more money in relationships, and definitely for me too. I spent more money going to the movies, getting dinner, making dinner, than I ever have given to any religious thing I've been a part of.
Chaz actually brings up a good point. As opposed to just relationships with like significant others, just relationships with your family or relationships with your friends. Those things are complete. Like, your family has to support you for basically like a large chunk of your life, and then as your parents get older, chances are you'll start taking care of them.
Well, I don't think your parents don't take care of you for that long. Usually it's in your 20s. And then...
That's a long
That's a
time.
long time.
That's a long time.
20 years versus 20 to like 80. Well, not 20 to 80, but like 20 to 60, you take care of yourself. 40 versus 20?
That's kind of true. And assuming if the person's very religious, they spend a considerable amount of money during that time period. What do you think, Chaz?
There is a thing they say, whenever you have a child, it takes $1 million to raise a child.
Yes, it
So,
does. Let's go buy
I guess
Ferraris
they
instead.
spend more than $1 million giving to a church or a religious organization, or $1 million buying diapers and then paying for school, and then, oh no, they wrecked your car, or you got to get braces, and all that other stuff that comes with having children.
But the way I see it is, I honestly would pick relationships over religion any day. Because I want to be loved. And if there's a certain cost with it...
Somebody too.
If there's a certain cost with it, then I'm willing to make that cost.
Alright, that's fair. But a lot of people feel exactly the same way about religion.
If they love religion that much, then alright.
No, I think this is a thing that I brought up before you showed up, Aksa. There was the concept that religion takes over relationship aspects.
It does.
So it's kind of like, I want someone to love me. There's a magical character in the sky that loves me for who I am and will protect me. It's like, that's a legitimate thing. And I'm not particularly making fun of people for that, because I totally understand why people want it. Even though I viciously made fun of it in the first part of the show.
I'll be 100% honest with you guys, like, as far as that idea goes. I mean, like, as, yesterday, when something really bad happens, like yesterday with the Boston Marathon, I do wish that, like, I could have someone to talk to, or something. Like, I remember thinking to myself, like, just like, I'm like, I wish I had someone say, please keep these people safe, please make sure everything, but I don't. Like, and I can't make myself believe in something when there is absolutely no evidence for it. Mm-hmm. But I wish it doesn't mean I don't wish it was there.
Okay, I was actually reading this
Don't forget our call.
It's like, Chaz, make sure to jump in whenever you want. We
Yeah.
can hear you.
Please do it.
Oh, I'm just listening at the moment. If I have something to say, I will.
I was actually reading this Facebook post earlier about this one guy who had a similar opinion as Izzy does. Like, I wish there was something. But then I don't know if someone commented or made another post about it, but they're like, just because there's very few people, when we look at the large picture, how many people are in the world? Like, billions, right?
Several billion, yes.
Yeah, so
We're
several
about
billion.
7.
There's like 300 some million alone in the United States. How many people are there that did these bombings and the knife stabbing people?
Well, very
and stuff
few,
like that?
because
Very few.
that's why
So
it
it's not
makes
even like it's not even 0.5% of the entire population. So humanity in itself can take care of each other. We don't really need somebody, some magical being taking care of us. We are capable of taking care of each other. But the question is, do we want to? Do we really care about each other enough to do that?
I think it's in there.
In the absence of God.
I literally think it is in our nature to take care of each other, but we don't think that way. Because a lot of Republicans say that there's personal responsibility. I hear that from a lot of libertarians too, and I agree with almost everything that libertarians say. But when you're talking about personal responsibility, you're not even just talking about one individual or yourself or someone else. Personal responsibility has to deal with every single selected person in a collective society. And I might be looking at some guy down the street, George Watson or something. I don't know who he is. But at the same time, I'm personally responsible for him to get his basic needs in order to survive. Because I might not know that guy at all. I've never seen him in my life. But he's just as connected to me as I am with, my sister or someone else that I know.
Alright, so we're not kind of dipping into a thing that actually Marcus Gonzalez in our chat room, which everyone should join during these shows. There is a bit of how society dictates relationships, as well as how, society is a relationship.
I agree. Society is a relationship. You have relationships with everyone within society. You have relationship with your professors. They're the professor, you're the student. You have relationship with your friends. Obviously, your friends. Sometimes it becomes more than friends, but you never know. We also there's different types of relationships. But when most people think of relationships, they think of the typical heterosexual male-female relationship. Which, okay, that's what a relationship usually comes up, but those aren't the only relationships that exist in the world and within society. And as far as society shaping relationships, that's very true. In America, or a lot of countries where religion is dominant, the typical heterosexual male-female relationship is the only option. There's no such thing as same-gender relationships, because that's just taboo. In a lot of like Shia countries that are controlled by Sharia law, those people will get stoned to death.
Because people are idiots, that's why.
Chaz, once more, we'd love to hear from you.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that, too. It's the whole, I guess, what's it called? It takes a village to raise a child. But I guess I always hate it when someone says they're independent, even though, someone has to deliver your groceries to the store and you have to buy them from someone, and whoever runs your internet and your lights, people have to do that, too. And so there's this weird web of people that help you in your everyday life, even if you never meet them in your life. And sometimes you meet them directly, sometimes you meet them indirectly, but there's always small and larger relationships impacting our lives, whatever and throughout whatever we do.
So can we actually say that, like, I'm going to jump right to religion now. Is religion just nothing but one giant relationship?
Ooh. That's interesting you should say that, because
it's like there's the personal relationship with God.
Yeah,
that's like the most common phrase ever.
Who put as their religious status on Facebook. It's not a religion, it's a relationship. But I don't understand how you can have a...
Oh, Jazz said something.
Yes.
I was going to say, it kind of feels like a secret society. It's kind of like, how like on college campuses they're like, oh, there are the skulls over there, right? But you won't know it until you get invited to it, right? And then the religious be like, yeah, we have a personal relationship with them, but first you have to let yourself be open to it. Then once you are, you'll be in the club and like, yeah, let's do it, right? So...
All right. Well, Chaz, I'm afraid we're going to have to let you go because it appears we have someone else trying to get a call in.
Your buddy, Marcus.
Oh, no problem. I will listen to them then.
All right. Thank you very much, Chaz. Call whenever you like. Have a nice day.
See you later.
I like this.
This is groovy as heck.
Marcus, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi, Marcus.
All right, Marcus, I can actually hear us in the background. Can you just turn off your feed while you're talking to us?
You should put your uncle on here, too.
Yeah,
Curtis.
Let's not do that.
Who's Curtis?
Actually, no. Next week, try to get Curtis on here. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
Hello.
Hey.
All right, so what's your take?
Oh, okay, hold on.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, we took like 15 minutes to start because of technical difficulties. Don't worry about it.
Wait, I'm trying to, the port on my laptop is all retarded.
Whoa, man, that's rude.
Why is this on the floor?
I don't know.
Oh, look at that.
We can
No,
hear you
don't put it on.
We can hear you
Come
loud and
on.
clear, by the way.
No, I can't take you seriously with that thing on.
I take it more seriously with that thing on.
I have other goggles that make my eyes...
Marcus, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, but everything seems like it's like lagging.
That's peculiar. Anyway, just start talking. We can hear you fine.
Oh, okay. No, it was
sorry,
just,
everybody.
it was
It's
just
technical
like
things.
as far as society dictating relationships. Wait, like there's so much going on now.
What?
Your computer being...
Okay, never mind.
Just
yeah,
talk.
just with,
Ignore
as far as
everything
like
else.
society dictating relationships, it's everything. We as a whole, it's just like what like how we court, the things that we do, how men are supposed to take charge and all this other stuff. Like that's all dictated. The mentality that we have going into relationships is often dictated by society as a whole. Like how we operate.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Yep.
What's your take on the topic that we were just trying to dip into? Like the religion being nothing but a relationship.
What do you mean? I mean, I probably feel the same way about it, as you do. Like, I don't, dig the whole Sky Daddy thing. To me, it's a giant, it's a giant daddy issue.
So can you
But I love my dad.
can you explain that a bit more? Is that a negative thing? How does that work?
That's funny.
Being a that is kind of hard to explain. You know, just people have this void, and it's religion is just this default thinking to always turn to God and these ideas and stuff to fill these voids and crap, and it's just it's a mess. This lag is like really getting on my nerves.
Dude, just
We can still hear you, though.
turn off Spreaker and just listen to the call.
Oh, sweet. Okay, I'm good now.
Okay.
We're good.
All right, go on.
We could do.
No, I don't really have anything to say right now. I'm just gonna like fall back, listen a bit.
Oh, you're gonna pull a Chaz, I see.
Yeah.
All right.
We can talk about the hive mentality. How costly that is.
What is the hive mentality?
The hive mentality?
Go Dante.
Basically, you have God is the giant queen bee, so to speak. And
Feed it.
And his fan club is basically the workers and the drones, and they have to do everything he says, otherwise they would be punished. Of course, it varies in different ways from religion to religion. Some religions are not as sycophantic towards their deity, I would say. Now,
the hive mentality is much more bigger than just religion too.
Oh, of course.
Like because when you look at the hive mentality goes into like our advertising, media, and it always boils down to not questioning what you're told.
Yep.
And that becomes a really costly thing on society, both socially and economically. You know, we've been socially stunted for years. Economically, we're exploding right now. Well, imploding right now. You know, so the hive mentality is much bigger than just religion.
You can say that for relationships as well, because if we look at, like you were mentioning, the media and all this indoctrination of how men are supposed to do this and women are supposed to do this, do you notice that a lot of people don't really question? I mean, maybe as kids they might, if they latch onto it a little bit, because I've questioned a few things that I see on TV when I was a kid, like, why is the guy doing that for the girl or vice versa? But a lot of people don't. You know, this commercial will say, yeah, if you don't buy this deodorant or buy this car or drive a motorcycle, the women will never love you. And the guys don't go, why? The guys go, okay, nice. I better get the motorcycle and wear Axe spray or some other nonsense.
If you wear Axe, I will never talk to you again.
To get the woman to talk to me. Meanwhile, you know, on the other side, as far as the women are concerned, you have these guys spending all this money on these advertisements to get you to buy these products. You know, they're telling the women, you need the eyeshadow, you need the lipstick, you need...
women, it's worse.
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely,
generally dictates that women should be with guys that have a certain status, because with that comes security. And
that word again.
And the other way around, you know, it's just women looking good for men because they're more fertile or they can produce better looking offspring and stuff like that.
Well, I agree with the whole security thing, but, like, me as a female, like, I do plan on one day being in a serious relationship, getting married, having offspring, and I want to make sure that the guy that I'm with can provide for certain things. Like, I don't expect him to give me everything, because I expect to work. I went through college, I plan on going to medical school, I plan to be using the knowledge that I've gained. But that doesn't mean that I don't want a guy who cannot provide for me and my children. Like, I don't understand why guys are so against, like, this is, like, the abnormal thing. Like, I don't get it. Every woman wants someone who can provide them with some securities. Like, did I say abnormal?
I mean, I grew up in a household where my dad did the dishes every night. Like, and I remember, like, realizing, like, when people were like, oh, your dad does the dishes, not your mom? Like,
and that's
I'm
fine.
like, yeah, I didn't even think that there was anything weird
It's like,
about
I
that.
did the dishes in my house.
Yeah, like,
Same.
My
The
dad,
kids did the dishes.
My dad always mopped the floor, too. Like, I never thought of
So did
that
the
as a
kids.
female activity or a male activity or anything like that. It's all depends on how you're raised. I mean,
No,
I
but
really-
you see women's hands are hooked in a certain way to be really...
You know how my hands are hooked? Around your throat.
Wait, what did you say, Marcus?
No, what Charles just said is that we want it to be a two-way street, and he's absolutely right with that. You know, like I totally understand that women, you know, they want someone that can provide and everything like that. But it it is a lot more synergistic if it was a two-way street. You know, if we can collectively come together and create something far bigger than we could if we were individuals. You know, so it is a two-way street that more progressive people, more progressive men would want. You know,
I firmly believe in egalitarian altruism. Definitely, absolutely.
I agree. Like both my mom doesn't work now, so my dad's the primary breadwinner. But when we were younger, both my parents worked, and that made life a lot simpler. Like now, my parents are in an economic situation where my dad's a little bit more stressed out because I am in college. My brother's going to be going to college in a year, and if my mom's planning on going back to work, and when they're both at work, like we have we're in a good financial status. Like we have the money that we need for our necessities. So if both men and women work together, I think a society would be much, much better.
There was a slightly different subject brought in by Sparrow 10 UK. One expense, and it goes for both. Look at the stupid things people do because of each other. Currently thinking of violence. So, what about violent behavior brought on?
Physically taxing.
Yeah. What about physically taxing?
Are we talking about relationships?
Both. We're going.
Well,
which one is more physically taxing?
Well, I mean, in a relationship, you get, you do the vertical, the horizontal.
The horizontal Macarena.
Thank you.
I think you're doing it wrong.
Hey.
No, it was the horizontal something else.
I called it the Macarena.
I thought it was the horizontal Monster Mash.
I don't even know. There's a million different names for it.
You can call it the bedroom tango for all I care.
Yeah, whatever. Like
people are having sex. That is where we're going.
Continue, please.
In case you missed the obvious. But as far as like physical, being extraneous, like relationships there's a certain aspect, like David brought up. There is that. But then you go out of your way for certain people. Like I don't know. I guess I would expect certain things. Like I go to the gym, I expect my guy to go to the gym because I like people that are healthy, and part of that is working out and making sure that you're in good health. Religion, I don't know how you could say that you're...
Death. That's
okay.
A cost. That's a really, really big expense.
But even if, biologically, our life is going to finish.
Well,
yeah, religion just helps it go along quicker.
Why would you say that it helps it go along quicker?
Think about most of the wars that happen.
Bombings, wars, murders.
But it's not all about religion.
Down, religion has that.
There's a lot that's solely motivated by religion.
Okay, fine.
Most of that.
And we're
what'd you say, Marcus?
Marcus.
Huh?
What'd you say, man?
I was saying, yeah, like religion, I don't think anything holds the candle to cause of death the way religion does, especially, just look at history. But as far as, dumb shit people do, just on the day-to-day, relationships has that in the bag. There's so much, goofy stuff that we do because of, a significant other.
Can you give me an example? Because I'm just sitting here thinking, what crazy thing do people do?
Yeah, it's like Marcus. I would actually disagree.
The things that we buy, the things we spend on.
We're talking about physical here. So, what are you doing physically that is so strenuous? Other than sex, because we got that.
But that's a good cost.
Oh, well, I don't have anything.
Okay.
You see, this is why I would actually go with just other physical activities. There's nothing... I'm sorry, but I've never dated anyone that required me... Okay, we chased Dante out of the room. What
happened?
I'm just going to read that later.
Okay. You better read it. I want to know what...
Alright, so... No matter who I've dated, I've never been forced to drop to the floor and convulse while talking in random voices.
Yes.
I don't know if you're into that. Whatever. Dante, get off the floor.
When I'm in a relationship,
No, but
I'm not told to I'm not told that masturbation is bad. That I shouldn't masturbate because, guess what?
Why does that word make everybody giggle?
It's not okay. It's not the word itself. It's that Richard said it. God, people.
Marcus, you got something to say, man. It's gotta come off.
Marcus, just please start.
strong.
Hey,
sadness in your soul.
Marcus, say something.
Where the hell is my gavel?
Consider all the things that we do to ourselves physically to impress the opposite sex.
I completely missed that. Could you say that again?
Something opposite sex.
I said, consider all the things that we do to ourselves physically to impress the opposite sex.
Yes, I go to the gym. I want abs, but that does not attract very many guys.
No.
Trust me.
Not.
Well, I mean, like
just
things that
that.
are damaging to the body, like surgeries,
Making
and,
yourself pretty,
you know, like
pregnancy.
makeup, pregnant.
anorexia.
Yeah, I get pregnant
or-
all the time to impress the ladies.
Yeah,
Actually, I would
actually
be
think
very
that goes
impressed
down
if you
to
got
an
pregnant,
individual.
Dave.
I think that goes down to an individual basis because some people like the skinny girls and some people like the fat girls and some people don't care because they're closing their eyes when they're doing it.
Wow.
I'd be one of those.
Wise words.
All right, Marcus, we're gonna let you go because we're getting to the end of the show, and I have an email that I want to read. So thank you very much for joining us.
That was awesome.
Take care.
Roger that.
Can you read what it said?
It was. I don't know why you found this so funny. It was like death is expensive. Do you know how much a funeral costs?
Anywhere from 10 to 20 grand.
I mean, it's kind
Or
of funny,
more.
but it's not like I wasn't like.
All right.
no.
Anyway,
It's not
anyway,
LMFAO.
guys,
Death
this
insurance.
comes to us from our own school, from a girl named Cassandra.
Oh, Cassie.
I was trying to be discreet.
Fiend.
Some of my 2 cents. As far as relationship versus religion is concerned, it always... I just clicked the button that's covered up. It always depends on how committed a person is to a relationship or a religion. And if we're talking percentage of income, available money, or if we're talking about total cost measured in dollars. The Catholic Church spends millions of dollars, euros on candles, robes, Pope-mobiles, etc. And believers spend a huge amount on statues, rosaries, and crosses, etc. But the church also has more money to spend. Joe and Nancy down the street don't have the kind of money to blow on their relationship, but they still might spend a greater percentage of their available money on a relationship and luxuries. In comparison, Buddhism, I'd imagine, spends less money because of it's about spirituality and meditation, not about the flash or symbols as much as other religions. Cassandra.
Have you ever seen a Pope-mobile?
I don't know what that is.
It's basically an armored car with bulletproof windows that the Pope sits in. He waves at people while in a
Which
motorcade.
makes no sense because if heaven is supposed to be like the ultimate
We know.
paradise, why
No,
would you want
we'll
to
have a
play
podcast about the hypocrisies later.
The
of the
Pope-mobile.
Catholic Church?
Of the Pope-mobile.
My
But-
wrist really hurts. Do
Yeah,
I have
weddings
carpal
too.
tunnel?
I think weddings are more expensive than funerals.
No, but the thing that Cassie brings up is kind of interesting. Is more the devotion aspect. Like if both in religion and relationships, if you have a relationship that you are so damn into, then you will spend a lot of money. Not everyone, but a lot of people will just throw money willy nilly at them. If you're in a relationship where you're just happy and you're just content and your life is good, then you won't spend much money because you don't need to impress anybody. You're both just happy people, and that's great. And the same can go with a religion. If you're just like, a religion just makes me feel good, I like believing there's magic sky people, then you're fine. You probably won't spend much money. But if you are so into the religion, you'll just be like, I want a place in heaven, here's $10,000.
True story. My sister knew someone in high school who pawned off his Xbox to buy diamond earrings for his girlfriend for Christmas. Guess what she got him? A stuffed penguin.
What?
So,
Oh, I really wanted it to be like an Xbox game.
That's love.
And then I guess it wouldn't really work in this example because she'd be like, I sold my ears so I could get you this
like the
game.
gift of the Magi or whatever.
Yeah.
That's love.
Yes.
Okay,
That's
honestly,
right, guys.
I'd rather have the stuffed penguin than the diamond earrings.
All right, we have less than a minute left. Thank you, everybody. Thank our wonderful callers, our people in the chat room. Feel free to email us at drexfreethought@gmail.com. Join our live chat. Find our videos both on YouTube. There's a link on our Twitter. You can find it on our website, drexelfreethought.org. You can find us on Facebook. Follow us everywhere. And for any Drexel people who are listening, you can find us on Collegiate Link. And you can follow us on our calendar and all the other events that are happening there. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you everybody for coming here. We had a great show. I guess we'll see you next week, maybe? You'll see us eventually. We'll post it everywhere.
that was every other
I
week.
don't care. We're ending the show. Bye, everybody. Applause, everyone. Hooray, we're awesome.
Uh-oh. I think we went a minute over. We gotta pay for that.
You gotta pay for that.